Okay, so this is going to be my official Danny Garcia versus, or Erislandy Lara versus Danny Garcia official prediction. I see a lot of people taking issue with this fight. The fight itself, I don't have much of an issue with. It's two guys that are towards the end of their careers, trying to get, in Danny Garcia's case, trying to win another title in another weight class. You know, when Erislandy Lara trying to get another good victory with a name under his belt, etc., so forth. The only real issue I have with this fight is the fact that it's for a middleweight title at a catch weight of 155 pounds, okay? Other than that, I really don't have a big issue with the fight, other than it being for a belt at a catch weight under the belt's limit, you know. But let's start by going through the tail of the tape. Danny Garcia is 35 years old. He stands at 5'8". He has a 68.5-inch reach. His record reads 37 wins, 3 defeats, and 21 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Erislandy Lara is 40 years of age. Stands at 5'9", has a 75.5-inch reach. His record reached 29 wins, 3 defeats, and 3 draws, with 17 wins coming by way of knockouts. I want to dig into Erislandy Lara's resume a little bit, okay? Every time Erislandy Lara has lost, it has been a controversial split decision. You know, he dominated Paul Williams back in the day, a little over a decade ago now, right? And got robbed blind. That was a blatant robbery. The fight with Canelo Alvarez, I thought, was very close. I personally thought Lara outboxed him and should have got the nod. But, you know, that's Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo Alvarez never loses a decision in close fights. And then the third loss he had to Jarrett Hurd was a very questionable split decision as well. So you can make a good case that Erislandy Lara should still be undefeated. He's had a couple draws. He had a head clash with Vanes Martirosyan, and that turned out to be a technical draw. And then he had a rematch with him later down the line and beat him and won on UD. And he had another draw with Brian Castano, and that was a very, very close fight. So he's got a lot of questionable draws and losses on his record that maybe should be wins, you know. And I think we need to say that, put that into perspective. Now with Danny, you know, and first of all, and another thing with regards to Erislandy Lara, I don't want to hear anything about him being weight drained or any of that, because he spent his entire career at 154 pounds. He's only had 2 fights at 160. So the narrative that he's being weight drained, I don't agree with that. And it's at 155 as well. So they're giving him a little leeway at least. But, I mean, maybe, but I'm not seeing it, bro. But as far as Danny Garcia goes, for those of you who remember my old channel, okay, you know, I used to shit on, in particular, 4 or 5, 6 fighters, right? I used to shit on Danny Garcia regularly. I'm not a fan of Danny. I used to shit on Mikey Garcia regularly. Broner and Floyd. Those 4 in particular, plus a little Canelo. Danny Garcia has, in my opinion, is one of the most overrated fighters in the past decade. Decade and change in boxing, okay? This guy was a good fighter at 140 pounds. He didn't do anything at 147. Nothing. He lost to Spence decisively. I never saw the controversy with the Thurman fight. I thought Thurman clearly beat him. Yes, Danny had a late rally there where Thurman was just running away, but Thurman won that fight. And same thing with Sean Porter. I thought Porter beat Danny pretty decisively. And I also thought Danny Garcia lost to Mauricio Herrera. And another questionable decision Danny Garcia got was against Lamont Peterson. The problem is with that one, Lamont Peterson gave away too many early rounds, but then proceeded to beat the shit out of Danny Garcia in the second half of the fight. But I've never been very impressed with Danny. I don't like him or his pops or any of that other shit, so I'll just tell you that flat out. I don't think he's that good of a fighter. I think that he's been criminally overrated. I don't think Danny doesn't have much of a jab. He doesn't have he's very flat-footed. He has some power, but usually if Danny Garcia gets a knockout, it's against an old shot-to-pieces Brandon Rios or Sam Vargas or an old-ass 40-year-old Paulie Malignaggi or some low-level opposition. So I never really rated Danny Garcia's power. It's there, but it's not this insane power that people like to make it out to be. All right? I think Danny is very, very flat-footed. You know, in my personal opinion, unless Erislandy Lara is completely shot, he should be able to decisively beat Danny Garcia. I think Erislandy, like I say, unless he's completely gone, I think Erislandy Lara is going to keep the jab in his face all night. Mind you, Lara has a 7-inch reach advantage over Danny with a very good jab. And Lara is powerful. He can crack. This is physically the biggest man that Danny Garcia has ever fought. And I know Danny Garcia's got a very good chin, but if somebody can crack it, Lara might be the guy to do it, bro. This dude can punch. He's long. I understand he's older. Maybe his reflexes aren't quite what they were. His footwork ain't quite what it is. But I think Lara is so much more skilled than Danny. You know, he's got a 7-inch reach advantage. He's been in there with just as good of competition as Danny, you know. And, you know, I think he's going to keep the jab in his face all night long. I think Lara's a very good counter puncher. So if Danny Garcia throws one of them sloppy left hooks with his eyes shut, I think Lara's going to counter the shit out of him. Like I say, I think that unless he's completely shot to pieces, I see Erislandy Lara winning this fight very decisively. I think he's going to put on a master, unless he might be a little bit shot, and I think it might be competitive in spurts. He's a little bit over the hill. He is 40 years old. But Danny himself isn't no spring chicken either. He's 35. So, but with all that considered, man, I still think Lara is the much better fighter of the two. He's far more skillful. He's got the longer, better jab. He's got the better 1-2. He's got the faster feet. He's the harder puncher. You know, so unless Erislandy Lara's completely gone, I think he's going to win this fight, and I think he's going to win it fairly decisively, people. Like I said, that 7-inch reach advantage plus the jab of Lara is going to kill Danny. And if Danny slips up and makes mistakes, Lara's going to be there to counter as well. So for my official prediction, I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. Okay, I'm gonna take Lara to win on points, but I have a feeling that Lara might be the one to drop Danny Garcia and maybe even crack his chin and stop him late. Okay, so I'm gonna take Lara on points. But don't be shocked in there if Lara goes in there and cracks this fucker and knocks him smooth out. You understand me? So, like I say, it's two guys that are past their prime. It's not some exceptionally great fight or anything. But it is considering where both guys are in their career, it is interesting. The only real issue that I have with it is that is for a middleweight title that Gennady Golovkin vacated at a catchweight. You know, so that's the only real problem and I think there's other people that Lara could be defending it against rather than a blown up 140-pounder at a catchweight, you know. So other than that, I don't really have a big issue with it. So, but I'm taking Lara on points. Maybe he gets a late TKO because Danny does have a very good chin. With that being said, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Salute and God bless to every single one of you. Hit that bell notification, and if you're feeling frosty, hit the kid with a super thanks, or drop the kid a cash app. God bless every single one of you, and I'll talk to you in the next one. God bless.